Tonight, travel chaos coast to coast. Hundreds of flights grounded at the nation's biggest airports. And the new warning tonight that it's likely to get even worse. Mass cancellations nationwide. Hundreds more on the chopping block each day as the FAA cuts back flights due to the government shutdown. Major delays at airports in cities like Houston, Phoenix, and Washington. Passengers beyond frustrated. And now the transportation secretary saying up to 20% of all flights could be slashed. The major reversal on food assistance today. The Trump administration will fund it for those in need. And the surprise pardon for baseball star Darryl Strawberry, convicted of tax evasion. Path of destruction, new images of the aftermath from that deadly UPS plane crash in Kentucky. The clue just in from the black boxes, a bell going off in the cockpit before the crash. Another U.S. strike on a boat in the Caribbean. Our Richard Engel on the ground in Colombia. What the defense minister just told him. Does he believe these boats are carrying drugs? The mother of a missing 9-year-old girl arrested in California, but not charged with her disappearance. The new video of the two of them in wigs before she vanished. Are police any closer to finding her? Shot through the door, the housekeeper and mother of 4 killed after showing up at the wrong address. Her husband, who was with her when she died, speaking out. Caught on camera, the high-speed chase, police pursuing a stolen ambulance, how it ended.
This is NBC Nightly News with Tom Yamas.
And good evening. Airlines today slashed their flight schedules at airports across America as part of the government mandate to cut back on air traffic as the government shutdown drags on. 700 flights were canceled today across the 4 biggest airlines, and those cuts will continue through the weekend. And in the days ahead, the reductions will get even steeper, with the government ramping up to grounding 10% of all flights by next week. And if your flight wasn't canceled today, there's a good chance you encountered long lines like these or a long delay. There were more than 4,000 flights delayed today, some up to 4 hours. The government says these cuts are necessary to relieve the strain on air traffic controllers who are working without paychecks and ensure safety in the skies. Maggie Vespa's tracking it all tonight from Chicago's O'Hare Airport.
Tonight, government-inflicted travel chaos mounting coast to coast.
So just like everybody else in America, my flight got canceled for tomorrow.
Air traffic control staffing shortages today, triggering major delays in Houston, Phoenix, and at Reagan National Airport in Washington, where delays averaged 4 hours. That's on top of the hundreds of flights already canceled after the FAA began reducing airspace because of the government shutdown. 4% of flights cut today. American Airlines says it's canceling 220 flights per day through Monday. United canceling more than 300 flights this weekend alone. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says cuts will ramp up to 10% next week, warning if the shutdown drags on.
If this continues and I have more controllers who decide they can't come to work, we might go to 15% or 20%.
The FAA saying the cancellations are needed to ease the burden on air traffic controllers who are working without pay. Flyers frustrated from Chicago.
How frustrating is this, that we're in this scenario where it's also unpredictable?
Oh, yeah, it's wicked frustrating. Everybody should just get along. Let's figure it out. These air traffic controllers, my safety is in their hands.
To Philadelphia.
And this is like the worst that I've ever seen.
It's unbelievable and it's embarrassing for our country.
At United Airlines Network Operations Center, staff are figuring out which flights to cancel and how to get passengers rebooked.
I would compare the 188 cancellations that we're currently doing like a mid-sized winter storm.
Mid-sized winter storm.
Mid-sized winter storm. The closer we get to the holidays, obviously the available seats will be less. So I think that that's a little bit more impactful.
Maggie joins us tonight from O'Hare. Maggie, a lot of viewers out there are going to be wondering, how are the airlines choosing which flights to cancel?
Yeah, so Tom, we're seeing airlines cancel routes that basically go back and forth several times a day. American Airlines, for example, normally has 10 flights between Miami and Tampa, and today they canceled 2 and they just had 8. And all the airlines, for what it's worth, say they're giving passengers multiple days' notice and they're waiving rebooking fees. Tom.
Okay, Maggie Vespa leading us off tonight. Now to the other big news on the shutdown today, the major reversal by the Trump administration on funding the food assistance program for those in need. Here's Peter Alexander.
Hello, Thank you for coming.
Tonight, as food distribution centers face another crush of customers in need, the Trump administration says it will comply with a federal court order fully funding food assistance or SNAP benefits for November. Still, it's unclear how soon that money gets to the 42 million Americans who rely on it.
I'm going for bread and eggs, necessary things but it's hard.
But on Capitol Hill, the longest federal government shutdown is set to stretch into its 7th week. Republicans blasting Democrats for repeatedly blocking a funding bill that would reopen the government.
This is Trump derangement syndrome. Nothing more, nothing less.
Senate Democrats now say they'll vote to end the shutdown if Republicans pass a 1-year extension of Obamacare subsidies.
Democrats are ready to clear the way to quickly pass a government funding bill that includes health care affordability.
Republicans call that offer a non-starter.
We have a shutdown, as you probably know, because the Democrats have gone, they're crazy.
But days after Democratic election wins, the president acknowledged were largely about affordability.
They lied because they talked about, prices are up. No, prices are down under the Trump administration, and they're down substantially.
Since the president took office, crude oil is down 16% and gas down 6 cents a gallon. But grocery prices overall are up slightly. Staples like ground beef up substantially, 13%. Orange juice up 17%. The president also touting Walmart's Thanksgiving meal deal.
It's 25% less this year than it was last year, and that's true.
But only partially true. It is cheaper, but that Walmart package is also much smaller, with 6 fewer items. Unlike last year, no sweet potatoes, no whipped topping, or pie.
And Peter joins us now live in studio. Peter, I know you have some new reporting on a high-profile pardon.
Tom, that's right. A White House official tells NBC News that President Trump has approved the pardon of Darryl Strawberry, a familiar name, 3-time World Series champion who pleaded guilty to tax evasion 30 years ago. The official noted that Strawberry has become active in Christian ministry, started a recovery center as well that remains operating today. Tom.
All right, Peter, great and great to see you. Now to the latest on that fiery crash of a UPS cargo plane in Louisville. Today, the NTSB revealed some of what they learned from the plane's black boxes. Here's Tom Costello.
From a drone and on the ground, NTSB investigators are mapping the scorched debris field from Tuesday's crash and revealing the black box recordings captured a bell going off in the cockpit 37 seconds after the plane began its takeoff roll, lasting until the recording stopped 25 seconds later.
During this time, the crew engaged in efforts to attempt to control the aircraft before the crash.
Among the missing, Megan Washburn, a mother of 2, and John Laux, both worked at the scrap metal business that was hit. The 3 pilots on board also died. Captain Richard Wartenberg, First Officer Lee Truitt, and Captain Dana Diamond.
I made the difficult 3 phone calls to the spouses of our pilots, our colleagues.
UPS Pilot Union President Bob Travis.
They were just wonderful human beings. They were fun to be around. They were happy, go-lucky people. They were funny.
At a vigil here Thursday night, the community gathered to remember those who were lost.
He's like an angel on earth.
The last time you spoke to him?
Probably like 2 weeks ago.
The question, why did the left engine and the pylon attaching it to the wing of the plane break free before the crash?
We don't know at this point in time, is this an airplane-specific issue or is this a fleet problem? We don't know that.
There are haunting similarities between this crash and one in 1979 involving an earlier model of the same plane in which also the engine and the pylon came off. The question is whether this plane suffered a similar fate. Tom?
Tom Costello there with a lot of new reporting for us. Tom, thank you. We have breaking news tonight in the case of that 9-year-old girl missing for nearly a month in California. Authorities arresting Melody Buzzard's mother, but she's not being charged with her disappearance. Our Steve Patterson explains.
Tonight, new video showing the mother in the middle of the maelstrom of her own daughter's mysterious disappearance, now under arrest. Authorities today putting handcuffs on 40-year-old Ashley Buzzard, but on unrelated false imprisonment charges. In a statement, the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Department says detectives learned of a recent incident where Ashley prevented a victim from leaving a location against their will, which constitutes false imprisonment. Adding, although the arrest occurred during the course of the missing person investigation, it is not directly related to Melody's disappearance. Former police chief Cedric Alexander is an NBC News law enforcement analyst.
Is the hope that while she's in custody, she will give them something that they can use for this case that they're already investigating?
She is the link to solving this case at this point. So hopefully through investigation and through their questioning of her, they're able to come to some resolve around this.
The arrest comes one day after deputies released new surveillance video showing Ashley with her daughter Melody at a rental car counter during a road trip, both appearing to be wearing wigs. Detectives say the investigation is centered on that road trip in early October. The pair seen in a white Chevy Malibu on October 7th. The rental car's license plate swapped from California to New York during the trip. Melody was last seen on October 9th, spotted near the Utah-Colorado border. The search now spread out over at least 5 different locations in 4 states, while a mother waits behind bars. Steve Patterson, NBC News.
And in Indiana, a housekeeper was shot through a door and killed. Police say she made the simple mistake of going to the wrong house. Aaron McLaughlin has the latest on why the shooter may not be charged.
Tonight, outside Indianapolis, the family of Maria Florina Rios Perez in tears after the 32-year-old house cleaner from Guatemala was shot and killed Wednesday morning while attempting to enter what police say was a mistaken address. Perez's husband, Mauricio, who cleaned houses with her, was by her side when it happened.
No es fácil.
It's not easy, he says. At the moment, seeing my wife in my arms, already lifeless, covered in blood, I felt like they tore everything from me. Video shows the bullet hole still visible in the front door of the suburban home. Police say officers responded to a 911 call at 6:49 a.m., reporting a possible residential entry in progress. Ken Eastwood is the county prosecutor overseeing the case.
They were there as part of a contract to clean the home. They were just at the wrong home.
Is the homeowner claiming self-defense?
Yes.
The shooter's name currently being withheld. Tonight, Eastwood tells NBC News criminal charges are being considered. At issue, Indiana's Stand Your Ground law covering self-defense if a person has reasonable belief of being threatened with imminent serious bodily harm. How do you determine what's reasonable and what's not?
In any type of self-defense claim, it's a difficult standard to understand given how we are in our world today on what's reasonable.
The family she leaves behind, including her 4 children, now demanding justice, wondering how a simple misunderstanding could have cost Perez her life. Aaron McLaughlin, NBC News.
And there was another U.S. strike on an alleged drug boat in the Caribbean. Our Richard Engel is in the region in Colombia tonight, where he pressed a top defense official. Does he think those boats are carrying drugs to the U.S.? Here's Richard.
The U.S. military carried out another lethal attack on a boat in the Caribbean carrying drugs to the U.S., the Pentagon said, providing no evidence and few details. So far, President Trump has authorized nearly 20 attacks on boats and an improvised submarine.
Every time you see that happen, you're saving 25,000 American lives.
In addition, he's deployed more than 10,000 troops, warships, drones, and fighter jets to the region, all while fiercely criticizing Venezuela and also Colombia.
Colombia is a drug den. It's a drug den, and it has been for a long time.
President Trump's lethal strikes and military buildup are being felt all across Latin America. He's even promised to cut all military and financial support for Colombia, where troops like these have long been considered among the U.S.'s closest and most effective allies in the war on drugs. Pedro Sanchez is Colombia's defense minister. I asked him if he agrees with President Trump's assessment that the boats are actually carrying drugs.
From the news that we analyzed, we agree that those are boats carrying drugs.
That's your assessment as well, that they're carrying drugs?
Yes.
The minister said the Colombian government is actively carrying out its own counter-narcotics operations, while back in the U.S., some members of Congress have questioned whether those boat strikes are legal. Tom?
Richard Engel for us from Colombia tonight. Richard, we thank you. Back here at home, the first Arctic blast of the season is moving in, and millions are under frost and freeze alerts. Bill Cairns is here. And, Bill, we could actually see record lows pretty early in the year.
Yeah, and in the south, too. It's going to be a scramble this weekend to get those leaves up, find the winter coats, the gloves, the hats, because this is going all the way down to the Gulf Coast. So we are going to watch wind chills, especially in the plains, in the Ohio Valley, all the way down to the Gulf Coast. That'll be in the single digits in a few spots like Chicago to Minneapolis. Minneapolis, but all the way down to the 30s. This is going to be Monday morning, so everyone going back to school, back to work, and then it will warm up a little bit during the day, but then we do it again. It's going to be very cold, even in Florida, as we go throughout Tuesday. And, of course, the lakes are very warm, so as normal, when we get the cold air over them, we get a lot of heavy lake effect snow. So there's going to be a lot of areas that'll see their first snowflakes, including Chicago, Detroit, and areas near Buffalo. The snow towns will get the most.
It's going to get real cold quick. All right, Bill, we thank you for that. And we are back in a moment with the burglary suspect caught on camera falling through a ceiling and landing right at the feet of the SWAT team. We are back now with dramatic new video of a wild police pursuit in Chicago. Look at this. You can see the police cars chasing after a stolen ambulance. That chase went on for several miles until they caught up to the suspect, swarming him, as you can see there, taking him into custody as he tried to run away. And look at this video of a burglary suspect in Florida crashing down from a ceiling right onto a SWAT team after hiding in an attic for hours. According to police, that's Keith Rogers that was dangling from the ceiling. He's wanted for grand theft auto. Okay, when we come back, there is good news tonight about a tree that's always in bloom. That's next. Finally, there's good news tonight. As we enter the colder months, most leaves have fallen, but one tree in New York City is more bountiful than ever. Our Emily Ikeda visits Yoko Ono's wish tree.
From a distance, these lilac trees appear to be in full bloom. But rather than flowers, these branches are budding with wishes.
I wish for all beings to live freely, peacefully.
Written by visitors of all ages at Wave Hill in New York City.
Everybody has a wish. Everybody has a hope, I think. It just seems like part of human nature.
Some will make you chuckle, wishing for a real-life unicorn or to be able to talk to turtles, while others focus on health. I wish Mom no pain, discomfort. I wish that the chemo works and I have enough years left to see Leo graduate from college. No matter the language, many share a theme of peace.
It was good to see that people were wishing for something else other than wishing something for themselves.
It's all part of Yoko Ono's Wish Tree, an art installation she started in 1996, sprouting up globally from Sweden to Japan to the UK.
What about wishes and plants and trees intertwine so well?
I think it's a very natural place to actually be together with your thoughts and your wishes for a better place.
All of the wishes are transported to the imagined Peace Tower in Iceland, dedicated to Ono's late husband, John Lennon. As the wish tree sows hope for a better world around the world. Emily Ikeda, NBC News, New York.
And that's Nightly News for this Friday. I'm Tom Llamas. Thanks so much for watching. Tonight and always, we're here for you. Good night. We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.